What's up, guys? MENG ADHD. We're here with you, and we're with Mike here, who is a serial entrepreneur, and he's going to talk to us about a lot of great things. I'm excited to have this interview with him. Mike, welcome with us.
I'm very happy to be here.
Right?
I want to tell you also, I want to interrupt you really quick because I'm
Yes.
good at that. I'm really happy to do this because I feel like if I die and never say any of this stuff to people, there's going to be so much missing. I'm so excited. Anyways,
I love this excitement. Thank you for coming. I thank you for coming. I enjoy talking to people like you. And well, I mean, talk about yourself, man. Talk about what you do, who you are. Just brag if you can.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, I love bragging, but then the second I start doing it, I hate it. I am a real estate agent investor. I'm getting into commercial construction development and sales. I've been in sales my entire life, and I have massively struggled with attention problems. Like if you were like, hey, that guy Mike has ADHD, people that know me will say, huh, that's an understatement. Throughout my entire life, literally, I have been like bouncing all over the walls, trying all different sorts of stuff. And I have like a million hobbies that I'm very good at. And when you and I were talking earlier, I came up with 3 things that I wanted to discuss specifically, and I wanted to tie them all into brain development for people like you and I that do not have the innate ability to focus on something quickly, efficiently, and effectively.
Yes.
So what else about me? I actually had to write them down because I won't be able to remember all them if I start thinking about it. But I have a bunch of random hobbies. And these are some of my hobbies. I like cars. I like gunsmithing. I like fitness. I like barbecuing. I like investments. I like economics. I love to collect books. I love to study ancient history like Egypt. I like to collect crystals. I love playing music and collecting music. I build guitars. I build watches. I do photography. I randomly program stuff like electronics. It just keeps my brain going. And I'm slowly learning to do draftsman stuff and architecture, but that's very slow.
And did you mention photography or did I forget?
I love photography. I love photography. And I have been an avid photographer, like on a professional level for 4 years. And I've been into photography for about 9. I've owned a whole bunch of DSLRs. That's not why I'm good at it, by the way. It's not the camera, it's the person. But photography was one way for me to calm my mind and then share with you what I'm seeing.
Yeah. So, you do find it hard to kind of define yourself, like, right? With all
yes, and people are like, "Oh, you're a jack of all trades." But no, I actually think I'm really good at a whole bunch of things.
Right?
And I figured out how to do it. So
that's nice. Well, I'm happy for you. So
thanks.
Who were you when you were a teenager? Were you always like jumping from thing to thing too, or did it something?
Yes,
is it something
I got bad grades unless I wanted to. Then I got impeccable. But no, I usually got bad grades because I didn't want to focus or couldn't focus. One of the two. I was kind of lost. I was trying to find my group of friends. I have different hands than most people. So my pointer fingers are much longer and my other fingers are shorter and the joints are funny. So a lot of kids picked on me when I was little. They called me all sorts of names and I didn't really feel very well accepted. And usually I was friends with like the runts or the outcasts or people that also got picked on. You know, school, I didn't go to school. I was homeschooled. And because my mom probably saw this, but I made friends in sports and I did Boy Scouts and community activities and swim team and this and that. And so I was always, and classes, I took different classes, but like I was never actually in school. So I was a teenager. I was very, very, very creative. I liked to build things. My parents were really cool about letting my mind wander. I could build like a 2-stroke engine on a motor scooter. I could build one like top to bottom by the time I was 13. And like most 13-year-olds I know can like barely use Instagram. I'm
And
kidding, but you know.
I don't even know what this is, by the way, what this engine
Oh,
is.
it's a motor. It's like a small motor with one piston usually. Yeah, one piston, and it's the one you hear on a chainsaw.
Yeah.
So, I was also into science a lot when I was a teenager, and I also went down a bad road of partying and drugs, and hanging out with the wrong people.
How long did it take? How long did you spend being in this bad road?
And I also was addicted to smoking cigarettes. The bad road took me about 7 years.
7 years?
7 years.
From which age to which age?
Probably maybe 8 years now that I think about it. It took me from about 17 and a half to 26.
Right? So
right around there.
You would define yourself as a late bloomer, right? Because did something happen before you stopped like using all of those drugs, etc.? Or
well, let me tell you this. Even though I was doing those things, I was still creating, and I was still working. I made a lot of money. Like I had really cool business ideas. I was doing a lot of good things, but I think I was running from who I am, from who that I believe that I am and who I wanted to be. I was running from that. And I think I was trying to use substances like alcohol and drugs to numb the pain. And really what I found out was that was just an inner hurt that I didn't want to deal with. Like I didn't want to face what was consuming me. And therefore I was a slave. So to myself, which is crazy.
Yeah. I mean, man, by the way, addiction, it's a persistent pattern that I'm seeing in my group. I mean, a lot of people are have gone through this period.
It's true. Before we get off the interview, I want to tell you my step-by-step process on how to overcome smoking. So
really?
Remind me. Yes, I have a whole process and it works.
Okay, let me write it down.
Write that, yeah, because let's go over that. I've been trying to quit for so long, and then I finally figured out, and now, like, even if I want to go have a cigarette, I could. But most people that do that, they break, and then they have to go buy a pack, and they go right back into it because their brain has a whole power or a whole like slew of habits. They have the habits right there. And it's like as soon as they get back into one, it's like when the water goes through dirt, right? It digs the dirt deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's like a canal. And as soon as they start pouring the water, boom, just goes right into it.
So tell us this process. Let's
okay, we'll go right in. Okay, so smoking is several things. It's a mental and a physical addiction. The physical addiction is not as hard to get over as you think, but it's not easy. I smoked for 10 years. Okay, heavy cigarettes. It's not easy. I'm not discounting anyone, but I will tell you, at the end of the day, when you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I do not want to be a slave to this stupid thing, you can start. So when you get to that point, here's the steps, and then here is why they work. Okay, so you are addicted to something mentally because you have neural pathways that fire every time you do something. And when you do something over and over at the same time, like how many people do you know that smoke?
Practically everyone.
Okay, so they smoke when they're happy. They smoke when they're sad. They smoke when they win. They smoke when they lose. They smoke when they get a break. They smoke after they eat. They smoke when they wake up. They smoke after sex. They smoke before bed, and on and on and on. Every time you do something like that consistently, you build a habit in your head. Okay? Yeah. You could call it a hypnotic rhythm you give yourself. You're under your own spell. So when people say, oh, I quit, I go cold turkey, and then they start again, that does not work. It works for some people, but most of the people it does not work, especially not people like me. Maybe you too. Here is how you do it. You start by breaking one habit, the morning cigarette. You might say, why? Why? You start by just breaking only the one. And once you've consistently, probably for 30 days, broken the first cigarette, then you go to 2. You stop your 10 a.m. cigarette. Now you have done the first 2 and you're not smoking till maybe lunchtime. And you smoke for the
That's
rest of the day.
absolutely genius, man. So you kind of break those habits that form when you, for example, when it's the morning, you kind of think, what's missing right now? It's my cigarette. So you gotta identify when you usually smoke and then break them down into periods.
You break them down. And let me tell you why that works. Because once you break 2, now your brain has a new habit. And the new habit is beating the old habits.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. Think about that for a second. You have the new habit of overcoming the old habit. Because every time you fight yourself in your head, your brain goes, like for a bit, right? Your body wants it, this, that, and the other thing. But once you tell your body no, once you tell your head no, once you tell your cigarette and your lighter no, you program. So now you do it 2 times and you start programming the new habit of saying no. And once you get all the way through the day to when you finally stop, you have now overcame the habitual pattern of the addiction, which this is a little bit science-based and a little bit feeling-based and a lot of it experience-based. You know, I kind of know how the neural pathways fire. You know what I mean? You have the transmitters and the receivers, and they just go like this a whole bunch of times, and then they get more and more and more ingrained. They get more deeper as they go.
Yes.
So yes, that is my process. And you can translate this process to studying, to focusing, and to working out, to discipline.
Take notes, guys. Take notes.
So
I mean, how important did you? Because you mentioned you were homeschooled. How important do you think that was for you, or do you think it was really beneficial for someone with ADHD? I think I wasted most of my time at school. I was just sitting and I asked myself, could I be doing something more productive right now? I asked this question like a lot of times to myself.
Well, let me ask you 3 questions. I want you to answer these dead honest. Okay?
Yeah.
How much smarter than you is your teacher? Is a teacher? Is a teacher just a person like you and me, correct? So are the teachers super, super smart, or are they just regular people that have signed up to teach other people?
Well, I mean, we cannot judge. I mean, they can be smarter in the topic they're teaching me. Of course, I could be smarter in, for example, knowing about ADHD, and it depends on the topic.
Okay. So, but we can agree that every teacher is not a super genius.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I'm not dogging on any teachers, for the record.
I mean, a lot of them have been like super douchebags anyway, so.
Okay, well, we could say that too, but just for the sake of this, let's just say that teachers are good people that want to help, that have dedicated their lives to teaching other humans how to do something, okay? And when you go to a class, you follow a curriculum.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's my 3rd question. Do you honestly think that 40 people have the same learning process?
Of course not, yeah.
So,
I mean, the mission of ADHD-oers is creating different curriculums anyway.
So let me bring the point home. So if people have different learning process, right? All these different people, then what kind of ego do you have to possibly think that you can teach all these people a subject? And if you can't teach them all a subject, you are wasting their time. You are literally like a glorified babysitter. So let me tell you this. Homeschooling is super awesome, not just for ADHD people, but for overachievers, for special needs, for underachievers, for bookworms, for extroverts, introverts. It depends, because like you have to have a parent or a tutor or someone that wants to teach you in the style and the way that you need to learn. So if you have that, then homeschool is awesome.
Absolutely agree.
But you know what I mean? Just because I don't believe that humans are made to sit in a room and equalize. You take the smartest people and you bring them down to this level, and you take the dumbest people and try to bring them up. And it's like, it's a waste of time, I think.
Yeah,
So,
I don't want to take my kids to school. Like, I would be like your mother.
Right. Why would you? You know, no offense. A lot of my friends went to school. My parents went to school, and my parents hated it.
Oh my God, my parents loved it, and that's why it was a continuous class. I mean, of no, you will change your mind. Just wait until like you're 20. Okay, I'm 20. I didn't change my mind right now.
Yes. Yes. No, I hear that. So
yeah,
but I think homeschooling was excellent, to answer your question.
All right. Well, I think it is too. So, where did you meet other kids though? How did you socialize? I mean, it was through sports, or?
That is what everybody asks me. How did you meet other kids?
Yeah.
Well, I met other kids, the neighbors. See, when I was growing up, we didn't walk around like this. So when I was growing up, I had to knock on my neighbor's door and say, hi, like, I live down the street. Do you have any kids? I literally knocked on the door and said, do you have kids?
That's your first sales experience.
Hell yeah, it is. What is my commission? My commission is a friend. That is the best commission ever.
Yeah. Did you really do that? Like, you went there
all the time?
You
all
have
the
a
time.
Kid? Wow.
All the time. Every time I drove home, we would drive through the neighborhood and I would see kids right there. And I'd say, Mom, stop the car. I'd walk up the driveway. Hi, my name is Mike Cimorelli. I live down the street. Like, do you have kids? Why not?
That's really cool.
Like, so.
And I think that was normal at that time too, or not?
No, probably not that normal, but like they liked it. And then we would ride our bikes. One of my first like proud moments, we would my dad bought me a shovel and a wheelbarrow and a pickaxe when I was like 9 years old, and I built dirt jumps for the BMX bike. Yeah. And so I had 4 neighborhood friends, and they would all come over to my house. They would just show up, knock on the door.
Yeah.
And then we would ride our bikes and we would jump and we would fall and break bones, and it was fun.
So has anyone like turned you down when you did this or something? Or was no one was rude?
No, because think about, everybody has a natural, everyone wants to trust kids. And if you have the balls to knock on the door.
Some people are sick, man. It's just that's why I'm asking.
I guess, but I didn't run into that. I was very lucky.
Yeah.
But I knocked on a lot of doors.
So when did you like know you had ADHD? Since you were a kid, like at which age, and how?
I mean,
were you like struggling, going to your mom and being like, I have this problem, or?
Oh yeah. Well, my mom is a teacher. My mom owns a private school, which is our home school. And my mom didn't want to tell me that necessarily, but I started to notice she had all these books, like how to deal with ADHD, how to heal it,
Yeah.
And also like when I would take other classes or sports or whatnot, like I was always talking about something else. When I tried to play baseball, I was looking at the cars driving by instead of watching the ball. Like literally, I could not focus for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
When I tried to read a book, when I tried to read a book, the words were swimming all over the page.
Really? That's dyslexia?
No, they weren't backwards. It just, I didn't want to read.
Oh, okay.
Not dyslexic, because I thought I was dyslexic.
Okay.
And dyslexia, yes, it is not a lot of people, but some people do have that.
Yeah, I had a friend who had dyslexia who told me like when he was a kid, when he tried to read texts, it was literally changing forms. It wasn't. Yeah. So.
Well, maybe I used to be, and I overcame that too.
No. So I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, that looks like a superpower. I mean, if it's changing forms, I would love to experience that. It's like being on LSD.
Yeah. Whoa.
Right? So, what were we saying, by the way? Did you finish your sentence?
Yes. That's a
Okay.
good question to ask.
So I asked you if you when you didn't know you had ADHD. So you didn't tell us the age.
Oh, I guess I didn't see. I
Yes.
still have it. Oh, um, uh, probably 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
9 or 10. And this is also
Was
when
it?
this is when Ritalin was just starting to be big in the United States.
Well, was it like how did you take the news? Was it like, okay, cool, right now I can know how I function, this is really cool? Or were you not aware at this time and you were like, oh my God, I have a difference and I'm gonna be
Yeah,
traumatized?
that's what I have a difference, but nobody told me I had it. I just knew that I had a problem.
Mm-hmm. No, but when you knew it was ADHD, were you like, oh my God, I have something, this is gonna alienate me? Or
Well,
did you just think like,
well, I knew for sure I was probably 15 or 16.
okay.
And
So
then, yes, the problem with knowing that, or thinking that, I should say, is now I thought I have excuse.
yes, this is exactly what happened to me the
Now
first
I was
year
like,
or
oh
something.
my God, I can't do it because I'm different, or I can't do it because my
Yeah.
brain just does not focus.
Yeah,
But
and
then something very interesting happened 1 year later.
yes.
So I showed you my hands, right?
Yeah.
Um, I learned how to
Begin.
focus
Oh,
on playing guitar.
yes. You
And
told me this.
I got really good at guitar. And I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, whew, when I listen,
Don't
my
forget
mom,
to play something for us.
oh, I'll play something.
Yes.
You want me to?
Yes, but finish your sentence
Okay.
if you can.
So,
So we don't forget it.
okay, that's okay. That's okay. I got really good at guitar. I mean, I was laser focused. It took me 2 years to learn how to play some shit that most people with a regular hand could play in 2 weeks. Like literally basic stuff. But I had to over focus, laser focus just to figure. And then once it clicked forever. Once that clicked, now I'll tell you, I understand the art of mastery. And there is a book by Robert Greene called The Art of Mastery that you should read.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably heard of it.
Yes.
But anyways, once I learned to master the guitar, it still took me like 3 years. But once I learned that I focus on things that I love, I learned something about ADHD. I learned that people with ADHD have a predisposition towards being less agreeable. In other words, you might be not agreeing with a mode of information or a mode of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that you're stupid. It means that your brain does literally rejects. If someone says, read these 25 pages, you're like, I don't want to read these 25 pages. And your brain, you might not say that. You might say, okay, I want to read these 25 pages. But in your subconscious mind, your ADD mind, it says no. And you're not going to be able to read it. You're going to think about everything else. So
Apart from it.
yes, and I'll tell you, learning the guitar is very tedious. It is not fun. The strings hurt.
I tried like twice or something and I
The
just
strings
didn't like
hurt.
it.
They hurt your fingers. You know, you have to tune it. It's not fun.
Well, show us.
Okay, I'll show you. So I've had this guitar since I was 15. And let me just take off my headphones. I can't hear you.
This is
Did you hear that?
yes. You can hear me now or not? No.
Did you hear that?
I heard that, and man, this is absolutely awesome. I mean, this is you gotta play something for me and give it to me in a MP3 file so I can work
Sure.
out with it.
Oh, I write stuff all the time.
This makes me pumped.
This is, you know,
Holy shit, man. I really, really want to learn how to do it, by the way. I just like picked up a guitar like twice and I just forgot about it. And
well,
I regret
tell
this.
you.
And it makes you smart too. I mean, playing an instrument makes you really smart. Uh,
Learning, learning how to play the guitar was the gateway drug for learning how to focus, because it took so many hours of studying that freaking thing. And then I didn't really have a lot of money, and also the economy collapsed. I don't know if you know the recession of
which
2008.
2000, yes, okay.
So, like when I broke my guitar, there's no way I was going to pay somebody to fix it.
Mm-hmm. So
So now,
it affected you.
yeah, now I buy my own parts. Like I buy my own guitar parts. I solder them together with the wiring schematics. I adjust things how I want them to be, and then I take it apart and do it again. And that requires a lot of focus
It
and
does.
confidence. You know, you have to be confident in your skills, you know, like, but to me, it's not hard because I've learned to master that. And then I
Yes.
mastered building the engines. And I'll tell you that learning how, so this is this key that I wanted to share with everyone. Because if I die tomorrow and nobody knows this, then people are going to still like be in the situation that I was in that hurt me so freaking bad. And the key to unlocking ADD potential is learn something that you love, like legitimately love,
Mm-hmm.
and get really good at it to where you're confident and happy, and then keep doing that, because now you have a transferable skill. I make these watches. I modify Seiko watches. They're sick. Like I take like a $400 watch piece, $500 watch, and I change the parts and I take the movement out and put new hands. Like this one has Rolex hands and it has a lightning bolt for the second hand. I've got an empty piece here. I'm going to make one with a Maserati logo
Yeah.
on the second hand. And that takes a lot of focus, because like you're staring at the little thing. You have a tweezers and a little screwdriver, and you put it all together, and then you look at it, and then there's dust in there, and then you got to take it apart, blow it up. You know, it's
You have do you have the hyperactive type? Are you mostly hyperactive?
yeah. Can you tell? This is no
I
caffeine.
I can tell, man. I can tell. In my
This
case,
is no caffeine.
it's a roller coaster.
Yes, I am a roller coaster.
You too?
But you caught me when yesterday when we were going to do the interview, I was, and
Really?
today you were like, "Do you want to do the interview?" I was like, "Woohoo, yeah."
Well,
So,
man, I mean, I did a presentation two weeks ago, 2 days ago, or maybe yesterday. I don't remember. And I was on my hyperactive, you know, side. So I was like talking and explaining the projects, etc. And people who looked at me, they were like, "Oh man, you really looked so good!" Like people I didn't even know. So I was like, I was on my shit. I was on the flow at this time. It's just, but I want to figure out a way how to manipulate this and kind of be in this state when I want to be in this state. And I think I found a way by using triggers. But I mean,
oh, share that.
yeah. So I'm probably gonna share it in a video because I have to think about it. Because as I said, I think I found a way.
Okay.
Because the problem with this thing is that when I'm not in the hyperactive side, I really want to stay in the like calm state, right? When I'm not in in the energetic state and the hyperactive state, I love the state in which I am. I don't want to change. But if I'm
Mm.
forced to, for example, because I have to go to the gym, I I have to associate kind of like some music with the energetic state and while taking caffeine or something. And then
Okay.
when I
Okay.
hear this music, it's like a trigger that uh, I have to be up right now. I have to be energetic right now. It's something I've heard like a year ago or something in an interview, and unfortunately I didn't find it again. So that's
Oh, that's
trying
a
to develop it alone again.
that's a brilliant piece of advice. Uh, I would, I've done that a lot since I was like a kid. When I would get in a good mood, I'd turn a song on.
Yes.
Every time I'm in a good mood, I put that song on. And then when I'm in a bad mood, I put the song on and it goes whoo, back to the good mood. But you have to do it several times.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you take your good mood, right? And then you close it in a box.
Yes.
And then you've got it in the box and you can
and
open it again.
exactly. And this, by the way, reminded me of something. And it goes in the process of fighting addiction, for example. So let's imagine when you smoke weed with your friends, for example, you listen to the same type of music. Let's imagine it's the music that is in your phone's playlist, right? So if you listen to that same music when you want to stop smoking, right? Imagine let's say you want to stop smoking. If you still have that same music on your playlist again and you listen to that music, it's like a trigger that is gonna make you want to
smoke, especially with weed.
Yes.
Because I used to smoke a lot of weed.
It
and
takes
I'd
you
listen
back to the
music.
state.
Yeah, luckily for me, so I used to listen to like I started listening to Metallica, Megadeth, and Pantera and Green Day. Those are and Rancid. Those are like my 5 favorite bands that I listened to when I was like 13, 14, 15. And then I got into like Eminem and Dr. Dre and Lil Wayne. And that was like 17, 18, 19. I listened to rap, mostly rap, when I would smoke weed. All the way up into my early 20s, yeah. Because then I bought really nice stereos for my car, amplifier, subwoofers, speakers, and I'd get like really into it. And I actually, and not to sound racist, but like a lot of the rap music that I used to listen to was really bad for my head because it would talk about like stuff that was really on a low level of life. Just, mistreating people, stealing, smoking, doing drugs, abusing women. A lot of rap talks about that. And like it's pumping through my head all the time. So I actually did stop listening to that stuff and I feel a lot better. And I don't listen to the music that's a trigger point.
Yes, that input, basically you're getting exposed to some information, and now since your brain sees that information pretty much all the time, that, when I say information it could be anything. Like when you listen to this music, the point of the music is an information. So when you get exposed to this information pretty much all the time, I mean, your brain thinks that's the word, that's the reality. Well, if you were exposed to let's solve AI, let's create AI, let's solve hunger, let's solve this and that. I mean, the people whose brains are in this state are living in a way different world than those who only think about drugs,
right,
gangsters, etc., killing people, scaring people off, being.
Can I tie that whole thing into what I said at the beginning of the interview?
Yes.
Okay. It's the same thing as hiding from your true self, because the people you just said that want to solve world hunger, they want to create good things, they are doing what they are supposed to do. Like you could say it's your God-given gift or whatever. You are using who you really are in your heart, in your mind, and your soul. That is what those people are doing. Other people, and I've been the other people, are just going with the masses. They are listening to what's on the TV. It's called a program. They're being programmed. They're listening to what's coming out of the radio. They are following.
But exactly. I mean, we're all just following someone. those who
Well,
are
not all
solving
of
the
us.
hunger.
Yeah. But I ain't
Well,
following nobody if I can avoid it.
who do you listen to most of the time? What do you listen to I
Good.
mean, you're following your role models, basically. That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying.
Absolutely. I'll give you absolutely.
Right?
But I don't
So
want to
you're being
follow.
inspired, and
Who do I listen to? Okay, so I listen to several different podcasts. I like a guy named Matt Monero. He has a podcast called You Need More Money, and he is a lot like me. And he's just like, he's always achieving something. So I really like him. He seems just like a chill guy. I'm not really into like the Grant Cardone or the big guys. I feel like it's just a sales pitch 24/7. And also my mind loses the attention immediately. I listen to books by Napoleon Hill over and over. If you want to really calibrate your brain, in my opinion, to a high level, and I'll come back on this podcast when I'm making $50,000 a month US dollars every month, and I'll tell you exactly how it helped me because I'm on that road right now.
yes.
But Napoleon Hill, The Law of Success in 17 Lessons. It is like 900 pages, and it's a big book. And that book is, I've listened to it once. I'm on my second listen. Second one is Outwitting the Devil. It is a non-religious take on who the devil is. It's the negative side of everything and what it does to your head. And I'll tell you this, when I woke up, we were talking about the low end of the roller coaster.
Yes.
I woke up late this morning. I stayed up too late. I could not freaking sleep. I woke up, I just was like, oh, I can't do this. I can't do my workout. I don't have the energy. This is not a good decision. Oh, I shoulda. My mind was attacking me. I was in a low, I just want to lay in my bed and maybe watch YouTube, or I don't have to work because I own the company, so I could go in later or whatever. And then I said, you know what? All of that right there is the devil. That's what it is. It's the bad. It's the negative. It's the whatever it is. Whether you're religious or not, we can all agree that negative shit is bad.
Yeah, water is water.
Water is water, right? And poison water is poison water, right? That's it. Okay. So I tell you, man, I was in the low end of and look at me right now. And I'm just saying this because after I write, so instead of art in my bathroom, I have a master bedroom and a suite here. My bathroom has whiteboards on both of the walls. And I write my 5 critical tasks for every day on the one, along with some.
In the bathroom.
Yeah. And I have positive notes. So while I'm brushing my teeth, shaving, whatever, I see the one. And then the other one has longer term goals. Like there's still things that I want to learn on the guitar. There is a large apartment complex I want to develop. There is this project I want to do. There's that. So that's on the one. And then the shorter term, like today, and then a quote is on the other one. And then in the bathroom where, you take a leak, I have another whiteboard right in front of you. So every time I go in there, there is 4 immediate goals staring at me in the face. And maybe people don't need to do this, but I lose focus if I don't keep reminding myself of the positives and the things that I need to keep focused on.
Yeah, in my case, I just forget. I mean, I could take a decision and forget about it. I could take like a critical decision, right? And forget about it to the next day.
Yeah.
I would write it, but I mean, I would forget about it. And when I say forget about it, it's like this enthusiasm about it, this excitement about it, everything about it changes.
Right? Gone.
Yeah. That's why it's really important to write down.
I know.
I wish I had more space in this, like in my place here, where I could.
It's okay. You will. You will get a better place. It's expensive over there, huh?
In Nice, yeah, or you could say so. In like the good places, it's pretty expensive. Yeah,
I see that.
Yeah,
I see that.
So let's the question.
No, I was just gonna say I derailed your thought process. Sorry.
No worries, man. You didn't. It's getting derailed most of the time alone. So, do you think ADHD? course, I mean, I think you do think so. So do you think ADHD has anything to do with your successes? I mean, you told me when you were a kid, you were making a shit ton of money, basically. When you
Dude,
were,
okay.
do you think ADHD had something you benefited from in those
Yeah.
things?
Yeah, because I feel like if I was able to focus, then I would have just focused on a boring job like all my friends. Seriously. If I was able to focus, I would have been stuck in the paper mill, you know? I say that metaphorically speaking. But
Yeah.
I would have been stuck.
And what did you do when you were in your 20s? Because you told me you were, what were you making and what were
mostly
you doing
well,
when you were
mostly
in your 20s?
sales. You know, I've always made thousands every couple weeks, just continually. Whether it's car sales, my dad and I had a boxing gym, and I sold memberships, and I made a good amount of money there. I sold a lot of memberships, um, God gracious, I was like continuing to keep like a 24,000 or 23,000 a month for boxing memberships. That's a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like,
Imagine if you had Facebook ads at that time.
oh my God. I sold cars in the recession when I was 18 with them. And you know, car salesmen are sharks.
Yeah.
Car salesmen are sharks. Okay. When I was 18, I was working with a bunch of big guys that were cheating me, lying to me. Oh, Mike, there's a customer for you on the back. And I would go to the back, and they just took the customer I was going to talk to. And I learned a lot about that kind of stuff.
What they do this, man?
Oh yeah.
This is messed up, man. This is really thinking in the bottom. Like
Yeah.
like the bottom level thinking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I was 22, I walked into a gym. I was 21, sorry. I moved from Sacramento, where the capital of California is, to Malibu, California. And I didn't have a job. I had like $5,000, and I had a jacked up Toyota truck. It was pretty cool. But I went to this one gym called the Malibu Gym, and I looked around at the gym, and my head's and I thought, I'm going to work here. So I walked up to the manager. I said, "Hi, I'm Mike Cimorelli. I want to work at the front desk." And he goes, "Come to my office." I said, "I'd be a great addition to the gym. I can sell anything. I'm organized," which I'm not organized, but I could try to be organized. I was thinking I'll have papers. I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do this. Actually, I am organized now. I wasn't then. Sorry.
Well, but when you say you're organized, you weren't like intentionally lying. You were really thinking you were going to be organized, right?
Yes.
And this is a problem with ADHD. You really get
yes, I
excited
was
about
so
something.
enthusiastic. So check
Yeah.
this out. I got a job for $9 an hour, and I got 2 paychecks. And within 2 weeks, the manager was gone, and my paycheck wasn't there. And I was like, oh. So I called the owner. I said, "Hi, my paycheck's not here because you fired the manager. I want you to hire me as the manager, and I want you to give me a raise to $13.50 an hour." And then so I went from $9 to $13.50 an hour in 2 weeks. And then I kept working, and I was like, oh, I should be a personal trainer. So this was only like a couple months later. Also, I was making commissions off selling memberships, just like I was doing with boxing a year before that. And I got a personal training and a nutrition certification in California. So I used to teach classes. I taught a class called Booty Camp, which was mostly for girls, but it was a great class. And it was ADD as it gets. No, it was ADHD as it gets. It was like this, now this, now this, now this, now this, with like loud music and lots of different workouts and, you know, switching it up and different muscle groups. And I had one of the best classes at the gym, and I was doing personal training, and I was making commissions at the desk. I was doing really well again at that time.
Yeah.
The only problem was I was still partying too much, because now I only live 30-40 minutes from Hollywood. And now I was going to Hollywood and spending $300 or $400 a day, you know, on drinks and this and that. getting into clubs. So I got out of that. I got into photography and real estate and short-term rentals, which is really where my mind was blown. That was like my first rental that I did. The house was $7,800,000, and the owner let me rent it. Can you believe that? That was my first one, not like a $500,000 house or anything. It was almost $8 million.
What do you mean by let you rent it?
He was trying to sell his house, and it was on the market for 1 year. And I met him, and he looked at me and he goes, "Do you know how to sell my house?" And I got all enthusiastic, and I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Let's take it off the market and then short-term rent it." This is before Airbnb was big. This is just an idea. Let's take it off the market. We'll new furniture, this, that. We'll rent it to photo shoots, music videos, artists, movies, whatever, high end. And then we'll put together a pro forma, and then we'll sell it to an investor in China. And I just made this up. Yeah. And then he said, "Okay, let's do it." And now I was like, uh-oh. But with the help of some people that I'd met along the way, in a few months, we had it rented out a bunch of times, short term, bringing in a lot of money.
And did you sell it later?
No, we didn't sell it later. Actually, it burnt to the ground.
What?
Did you know that? Did you know there's a big fire last year in California?
It just burned last year?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we didn't end up selling it. I don't know. It wasn't my doing. I moved out of California almost 4 years ago. I moved out 3 years ago. 3 years and 4 months. No, 3 years and 6 months.
Yeah.
So
it sucks to have your house like burned down. I mean, $7 million. And
that was one of several of my houses that I was renting. So obviously,
I'm not talking about like you. I'm talking about like the owner. And imagine like for most people, generally they spend their lives just trying to build a home and looking for the perfect home for their life.
Yeah.
In my country, they call it the life cemetery.
Oh wow, really? That's their house.
And like they love it. Like, I mean, I need to find my life cemetery or something. I don't like this thinking. I hate it.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I don't either. I don't agree with that whatsoever. But that is a problem, you know. Yeah. In my opinion, that is a problem. I don't think that's a good thing. I think that people should want to have a great life. People should want things, and people should look in the mirror and say, "I deserve that shit."
Exactly, yeah.
But whatever, that's just what I think.
What do you think about personal awareness in terms of its importance for ADHD entrepreneurs to run in their business and you know, and learning about their ADHD? How much personal? Do you think people should spend more efforts into developing their personal awareness?
Let me restructure that with a different answer. I think that people should focus on 3 areas.
Yes.
And I think that these 3 areas affect everything you do, whether you're ADHD or not, but especially if you are like you or me. The first area is discipline. The second area is accountability. And the third area is confidence. Because you can be, if you're not focused, you can fix or you can supplement that with discipline. And the only way you can become disciplined is you have to be accountable.
Can you repeat them? So discipline,
yes. Accountability,
yeah,
confidence.
Okay.
I think that those are the 3 key functions that affect everything that a doer needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and I will probably prove this to be massively successful, is a person that can excel in personal discipline, accountability, and confidence is going to be like, you can't fail if you get there.
It's true.
Literally, that is the recipe for success, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, someone would probably say, "Oh, but you need the idea." But then ideas are everywhere, and if you have this tree, then you could test each idea fast, and then you could fail at it and learn from it, and then start the other one. And your confidence is gonna keep you starting over and over. Your discipline is gonna enable you to work fast. And you said accountability, the other one, right?
Yes.
And the
you want me to give you some? Yeah, you want me to give you some examples on accountability?
No, I mean, give it if you think you need to give an example.
Well, I want to give a deeper example of accountability.
Go.
Not because I think you need to, but because I want to share this and just put it on the record. So, if you own a business and you're selling a product, you are directly accountable for the product you're selling. Now, in my opinion, okay, do you like Enneagrams? You know, the personality. I'm a 3. I'm an achiever. Okay, it's really important to me, and I think it should be important to everybody, to be genuine and authentic. And what does that mean? If I sell you a product, I have to be accountable for that product. Yes. That product needs to be good, and it needs to be genuine. It needs to be what I say it is, right? If I sell you this watch, right? This is a great watch. I have to guarantee this is a great watch. If I say that this watch has all authentic parts and it's in working condition and this and this and this, and it's not, that means I'm not accountable.
Yes.
So if I am a social media marketing agency and I'm selling you leads, a lot of people listening to this are in the new wave of entrepreneur that are doing things online, okay? Like social media marketing. And if you are doing something like that and you're selling people bad leads, or you're leading a company to believe you can help them when really you can't, you're going to fucking fail because you're not accountable.
Yeah, I mean, when you talked about this, some companies some agencies in my country, in Morocco, not in here in France. So in my country, what do? They sell the impressions. So how do they do it? They give a price, like for impressions, we're going to reach this and that, and then they look for an audience that is too cheap to reach those impressions. And it's like the most fucked up thing to do ever.
How it is.
People actually succeed or something. And a lot of people are just making money just this way, and they're like using people's lack of knowledge about this thing, because most business owners, especially in my country, are old. They've built their wealth, etc., and they're using their money and they're losing their lack of knowledge to make money. And
yes, it's true.
It's fucked up.
That's true here too. And you know the secret. That's it. You know the secret. That's a secret. A lot of people don't know that. Also, a lot of people don't know that a lot of these Instagram accounts with 200,000 followers are bullshit.
Yeah.
Like they get 100 likes or 3,000 likes or whatever.
Even if they get a lot of likes.
That's still bullshit too. Yeah, that's still bullshit. Even if they get them, then what are the comments?
And even if they're not fake, what is your added value to people? Are you just here trying to pollute the society, or are you trying to make a difference?
Yeah, and that's a big thing too. Like as somebody with a problem focusing, if I get on my phone and I start studying this, right? It is very likely that someone like me will go straight down the rabbit hole. Say if I'm in a business like that, okay, now I can do this, now I can sell this product, now I can sell this product, now I can sell this product. And I start doing so many things so spread thin. I might even be enthusiastic on it, but if I'm not accountable, I might start selling a bunch of shitty products. Like And like you said, Facebook ads, for example, people do social marketing, they sell Facebook ads, they sell leads, right? Okay, what are these leads? How do they work? Who are these people? Are these just fucknuts that fill out their email that's not even real? Now you have a lead. What is a lead? A lead on Zillow. Zillow is a very reputable company. In my county here, it's a very, very wealthy county. It's called Williamson County. And a lead in a prime zip code here is like $190 for one lead. And you want to know what? It has a 5% chance of closing. That means you need to have 20 leads to close a deal.
Yeah.
That means, think about that for a second. Now you have, so people that are just starting in real estate, they don't want to keep spending $200 and then calling somebody, hello, and then getting hung up on. So then a person will come in, hi, I'll give you all these leads. And then they give them a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah. So they want to do the work. They want to find.
Yeah. So, oh, how about this? What about the drop shipping problem? Do you buy stuff on eBay in your country?
No.
Okay,
I mean,
love.
I don't know if it's interesting.
I just sold something on eBay. I bought an old camera at a garage sale, like really cheap, and then I sold it for 2 times what I paid for it. What is what it is. I probably could have got more, but anyways, I buy and sell a lot of stuff on eBay. I like watch parts, and there are so many like counterfeit, cheap Chinese watch parts, the same exact picture. And then if you just go on AliExpress or like DHgate, you know, the drop shipping companies from China,
yes,
or the suppliers, you see all the same pictures on there. It's like a big giant. So this is because so many people are doing this, but I feel like there's a problem. I feel like it's polluting the marketplace with shit.
Well, exactly. I mean, when you sell something that you know is not worth, the quality is bad. I've made this mistake with a friend just a while ago, where we tried to sell. Fortunately, no one bought it, but we tried to sell a machine. Sewer machine or something like that, you know, for sewing. And once we run ads, we've had some feedback of people commenting saying it's a scam, and I was explaining it's not a scam, etc. It's not a scam. It's not a scam. But then after doing more research, I just found out that the product is really fucked up. It's a really bad product, and we decided to stop just for this, because I mean, I was like, first of all, it's unethical. Second of all, it's we're just gonna, if we do build an audience or a list with those, what could we do with it? Since people are just gonna hate you anyway, because they're gonna buy this thing, they're gonna be like, this shitty company bought me this shitty thing and told me this shitty thing, and now I hate them. I don't want to do any. I don't want to have anything to do with them again. Anyway, I talked a lot.
I feel that. No, that's responsible. That's good of you to do that. You know, like why would you mislead people? I don't know, man. Maybe I have a soft heart. Sometimes I could be a real asshole. Not gonna lie, but I also have a soft heart, and I feel for people. Like did I tell you I have 10 younger siblings? So I have 6 sisters. I have 6 sisters, and I have 4 brothers, and I'm a big brother. And if I saw somebody taking advantage of one of my sisters or one of my brothers, whoo, boy, I get mad. Now, if it's not my sister or not my brother, I get sad. You know, I think, why are you doing that to that person?
Yeah, I see. So let's just, I'm going to change the topic because we,
sure.
So what did you take medication, and how long did you take it, and what do you think about it?
Great question. I think it sucks. I discovered if I take Adderall, I can clean my room, I can read, but what it does to me is it strips me of my higher level creativity. So when I take Adderall, I can play the same stuff on the guitar faster, but I don't create as good of new stuff. Why does that matter? Imagine if I was in business. It means I could clean the office I could do the same things I already knew how to do, but in business, I want every little competitive edge possible. And I will use my discipline and that process I told you earlier with the neuro pathways. I will use my new power of habit and my discipline to force myself to focus until I'm having fun, instead of taking a medication to focus. My blunt thought on medication is you do not need it. I think it's unnatural, and I don't think it's a good invention. I also know people that have taken it for 15 years or 20 years, and they can't function without it. And I look at that and I think, like, you poor guy. Like, you were so smart when I knew you as a kid. You were so smart, and now you're only smart when you take your blue pill, or the little the ones with the beads, the orange and white, or the Vyvanse and the other stuff. I get it. It can help you study. It can help you with this, but at what cost? If you're pushing your brain unnaturally with amphetamine salts, which is Adderall, amphetamines, like methamphetamine, but amphetamine salts. If you're pushing your brain all the time just to function, it means you are missing something else.
And I think what happens too is that they forget how they were really before medication. And the only thing that stays is a belief that they were non-functional, like, at all before. So this happened to me, and you get this memory, when you try to think about how you were before, you kind of don't feel it, because the only thing you remember is the last thing you thought about at that specific moment. So you kind of remember your anger about not being able to function in a specific set, in a specific environment, or in a specific situation.
That's absolutely.
But
I think that's so sad.
But since it strips you away from your creativity, let's just say that.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree. I've heard a lot of people say the same, but I mean, why not use it as a hack for when you need to be performing, and because it would help you perform faster, for example, with the guitar. So perform something you've already produced, you've already created. Why not do it at this specific moment, and that's it? And not use it on a regular basis all the time. That's how I think about things. And I would not love at all to take something permanently of my life.
I feel that. I'm not gonna discount that. I'm definitely, especially if your brain is already wired to it. Who am I to tell you that's not a good idea? I'll tell you personally, a high dose of caffeine gives me an edge. It's not as much, but a high dose of caffeine, I'm still I'm even more creative. If I have like 2 full cups of coffee, American size, big coffees. Americans drink a lot of coffee. Europeans drink a little bit of coffee with a little bit of, I'm like, what is this? I'm drinking a cup this big. But
I try to stay away from a lot of stimulants most of the time. In my case,
I hear you.
Whether it's coffee or I would, I love the state. When it comes to medication, coffee, whatever, not for me all the time, but I would take it if I just need to go perform in a presentation, for example, and be like, I'm just going to do this once a week or once a month or something like that. Why not take something that is going to give me an edge real quick? And I know that when I give it some space, a lot of time, I know that it's also going to give me more, it's going to hit me harder than if I do it on a daily basis. Or
no, I hear that. And I'm on board with that. So,
okay. So, how do you manage your time right now? Because you say you're organized. How do you manage your time, and how do you stay motivated to keep managing your time?
I wake up as early as possible and I work out first thing. So I get my head moving, and then I write down the critical tasks that I need to do for that day. Hopefully I wrote them out the day before, but I write out the critical tasks, and the critical tasks could be like 1, and then this, 2, this. I know that as long as I am furthering my physical health, my mental health, and my bank account, and then my family too. I don't want to leave family last. Family is very important. My family, my relationships, as long as I'm working on those 4 things, I'm doing good. So if I go to bed at the end of the day saying, okay, I put in a lot of effort, like I couldn't have done better, then I think that that's how I manage my day. I do not do well usually when I have a schedule, this, 9:30, 10:30. I feel like a prisoner. And I think maybe that's a problem, but I don't know how to fix that yet. So how do I manage my time? I use yellow pads. I write down the punch list of stuff and I do it. And then I get satisfaction of crossing it out. That's how I do it. How about you?
It depends.
Okay.
Actually, it depends. Sometimes I would just have a completely structured time of, from this to that I would be here, from this to that I would meditate, from this to that I would pray, from this to that I'm going to sleep, or I'm going to read, etc. So it's really managed. And other times I just want to be really, really free and just do the things that I have to do in the moment in which I have to be doing them.
Sure.
Yeah. So my next question is going to be, what's the hardest period you've been through in your company, man?
Startup, always. Startup. I've started up several small businesses and failed. And they all made money, but I've started up several things and failed. The hardest thing is real estate is kind of like this. 82% in my area of real estate agents fail in the first year. Mm-hmm. And most of the real estate agents that succeed are females. So think about how that, I have a small percentage, so I know that. So my hardest thing was, you dive into something for yourself. Either you have another job, you have a spouse that has income, or you have a bunch of money saved up. So luckily I had some money saved up, but then it started running out. I got kind of dry on the deals. I actually went into another company in the middle of starting this company and then came back, ADD, I guess. But the hardest period was the startup, and to gain the trust, and also to gain the confidence. Remember I said 3 things: confidence, discipline, accountability. I didn't have confidence. So how am I supposed to walk up to you and say, hi, mister, I'm an expert. I am exactly the person you need to talk to. We are going to have a great partnership, and we are going to not only have an amazing time capitalizing on this sale, but your next investment is going to be so much better. Like, there's no way you're going to be able to say that if you're not an expert. And if you're not an expert, how do you get to be an expert if you can't do any deals because you don't have the confidence? I'll tell you, discipline. You read and you study every freaking day.
It's a great fucking cycle, man. That is something. That is the best thing I've heard today. I've heard this month, by the way. The way you just explained it, like, it makes so much sense, man.
Thank you.
And I'm sure someone who's reading this right now would probably like have some how do we call it?
Breakthrough?
Yeah, breakthrough. Exactly.
That's the key, man. That is the freaking key. Oh, when I leave here, when I get on the phone, I'm gonna be like, bam. But it's true. That's the hardest cycle. But what I just gave you is the antidote for the heart. That's the hardest thing I could think of. The hardest thing I could think of is not having any customers and then not having the confidence to get them.
Yeah.
Dude, if you don't have confidence, you don't have shit. Exactly. And how do you get the confidence if you don't have the deals? How do you get the deals if you don't have the confidence? You supplement with the discipline to learn the stuff so that you can perform. Because anybody will give you a chance if you know a lot. Hey, I haven't sold a house, but I know more than all the other realtors. Not only that, I know the codes. I can add like a freaking calculator. Like, there's a lot of things that you can say to get a first deal. And then once you have one deal going, immediately, it doesn't matter if it's drop shipping or what it, I just sold this to this person. Now you can be relatable.
Yes.
That
Okay, sorry, we had a technical problem. Can you continue, Mike?
Yes, no, my partner, Chelsea, for work is so freaking good. While we've been doing this interview, she has been doing exactly what I trained and what I've worked with her on. She trains me on a lot of things. I'm not going to take that credit, but I have trained her on a lot of stuff, and she is on fire right now.
Your partner, like your romantic partner? Or
real estate partner, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we could be romantic. Who knows? So
maybe.
Anyway, long story. No, anyways.
Hopefully.
But yes, dude, she's a freaking beast. She is like really, really, really revving up the engine.
How?
Right now. Okay, so we are shifting from residential to commercial real estate because one thing I love about investors is investors look at numbers. And what are numbers? They don't lie. They're just there. So when you're putting together a price on something, it's not about, the kitchen is facing this way and the colors of the cabinets and ugh. No, it's like you're going to buy this property with this much money and have this much output. Like I like that shit. So I grew up in commercial construction. I didn't mention that earlier, but my dad owns a commercial construction business. And in between all those other jobs, I've worked for my dad. And I've also done sales for them. And I've also done all sorts of different tasks from permitting and stuff.
Man,
I know.
I think for now, you're the guy who did the most things in his life. And then our next guest is going to be a lawyer. And she's doing acting at the same time. But I was like, okay, this is some crazy thing. But now you, Mike, you are on the lead.
Well, you can tell the lawyer that I support her doing multiple things.
Yes, I will tell her that.
Tell her I support it and go, go, go.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah. Where were we before? You
were talking about the numbers.
That was it. Yeah, that was
it. So I'm going to ask you then the next question. So tell us a little bit about the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey. I'm talking about entrepreneurial and not your sales journey.
It started with sales.
So it started with, based on sales.
Oh yeah. The entrepreneurial journey started when I was 12 because my parents didn't want to buy me a mountain bike. No, they didn't want to buy me a PlayStation 2. And I really wanted a PlayStation 2. And when I was on swim team, remember I said I was on swim team? They had a fundraiser. And whoever raises the most money wins a PlayStation 2 and 2 controllers and 4 games. I was like, whoa. So I start knocking on people's door and collecting like $5 a door, right? Or $2, $20, whatever. And a lot of people say no, you know what I mean? Like I had to sell them on supporting the swim team. And it's easy when you're a kid because you're non-threatening. But also it's very easy to tell a kid no. So I would come back and, I was getting like a week away from winning the PlayStation. And I had like $300. I thought I was doing pretty good because most people only raise like $20 to $50. And this other kid, his parents gave him $500. And I was like, wait, yeah? No, not yet. 10 minutes. Okay. I got 10 minutes.
Okay.
So anyways.
Sorry.
Yes. So I went door to 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 door, and I increased the ante on my sales pitch. I even went back to some of the people. Like if I saw the husband and I hit up the husband instead of the wife because I already hit up the wife, and I raised like $1,000 and I swooped that PlayStation, and that felt really good. So the next year it was a mountain bike, a nice mountain bike, and I won that. I gave it to my sister. And the next year it was a motor scooter and I won that and I kept it. And the point of this is I got really good at door-to-door sales. So then I printed out on yellow piece of paper, Mike's Car Wash, and I bought some soap and some wax and a scrubbing brush and a nozzle. And I went door to door and I gave them my flyer. I want to wash your car for $10 to $30 or whatever. So my first really entrepreneurial venture was Mike's Car Wash.
So, I mean, now whenever you think about a project, the first thing you do is, let's just see if it's working. Let's just start with the sales, right?
No. The first thing I do now is I quantify what I've got. I make sure that I have a genuine, authentic, good product, right? Mm-hmm. First thing I do is no sales. The first thing I do is I sell it to myself.
I see. Yeah.
Once I sell it to myself, I'm a ball of fire. I can't stop.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I work.
So we have quite a few questions remaining, but since we have 10 minutes and we're ADHD and we talk a lot.
Let's go.
I'm going to ask you the most important one. If it takes you a long time to answer, we're just gonna wrap it up in this question because it's the most important one. So, just what works for you in terms of managing your ADHD, basically?
Well, what worked for me was that process I explained. The process was you recorrect your habits to focus. So whether it's quitting the addiction, you have to start focusing a little bit. Oh, here's what works for me. Pick something I really, really love and focus on it for a long time. A lot.
That's exactly the, okay, awesome.
You pick the one thing you love and you focus on it and you become an expert at it.
And then you can change if you want.
Yes, you can change. It's very easy because now you know the process. You pick, you study, you try, and you achieve. Now you can sell. That's it.
All right. And what would you tell those who adopt the victim's mindset because of their ADHD and who use ADHD right now as the ultimate excuse for anything? I know I'm not trying to bash anything by the way, by the way. We've just all been there and we're talking about our difference. So,
okay. I would say this. Find me on Instagram and send me a message. It's Mike Cimorelli Jr. MikeCimorellijr. Mike Cimorelli Jr. Send me a message and I will tell you this again. You are not alone. You are not disabled. You are not affected as much as you think or people tell you, and you are special, and you have the ability to focus, and you have the ability to achieve great things if you take the time to become disciplined, accountable, and confident.
Well, Mike, I think you put it into the perfect words. Thank you, man, for joining us. And for those who want to find you, it's just the same place, right? Instagram.
Mike Cimorelli Jr.
Awesome.
Yep.
So thank you for this awesome interview and thank you for answering all the questions, man. And you know what? Take care and you go do you.
All right, buddy. Over and out. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon, man.
Goodbye. Take care. Bye now.